evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jack Curtis, and I'll be your host tonight for 5-Star Wrestling. We have an exciting night. Our opening event features Mike George against Black Olympia. That should be a real exciting wrestling match. Also, Sam Houston will be here tonight. The Nature Boy, Buddy Landel, the Junkyard Dog returns, and we feature a ladies' match tonight between World's Champion Rockin Robin against Brandi Wine. Should be an exciting night. Stay with us.
The first match of the evening, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Standing in the blue corner, in the red and blue tights, weighing in at 231 pounds, from parts unknown, Black Olympia. And his opponent in the red corner, in the red jacket and the black tights, weighing in at 255 pounds, hailing from St. Joe, Missouri, the present WWA champion, Mike George. Your officials for this match, your referee, Rick Proctor, your timekeeper, Gary Kilshaw.
And Rick Proctor going to be the third man in the ring for the opening bout today as the WWA heavyweight champion, Mike George, making his 5-star debut, going up against Black Olympia. And Black Olympia, both men shake hands, and we're underway with a referee stance and an arm drag by Mike George. We've seen a lot of exciting things out of Black Olympia the last 2 weeks. The mysterious masked man who uses that knee lift very effectively. Mike George has come to 5-Star Wrestling. He says he's going to be a fighting champion. He says that that title is open to anybody that cares to get a match with him. And one of the men that cares to get a match with him is sitting right next to me as the 8th. Bob Orton has joined me for commentary on this match. Bob, welcome to 5-Star Wrestling.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. Mike George looks like he's got his hands full.
Well, Mike George is, I guess everybody's going to have their hands full with Mike George, and Mike George is going to have his hands full with a lot of people here in 5-Star Wrestling. There's some great competition here. You're on that list, of course, Bob Orton, Black Olympia, Kamala, Junkyard Dog. Mike George says he doesn't care which side of the dressing room he comes out of. He wants to prove that he's a fighter. Nice hip toss there by Mike George.
He is a fighting champion. He's been around a long time. He's wrestled in this area quite often, and the people here know him all through Louisiana and Mississippi. He's going to be tough to beat. He's going to be tough to beat. We've got an exciting match going here right now, but the match I come out here and want to talk about
the Cowboy Showdown.
The Cowboy Showdown. Cowboy Johnny Mantell against Sam Houston. Now, that ought to be something to see.
Well, now, I know that you and Johnny Mantell are friends. You and Sam Houston are not.
There you go.
But, you know, as an athlete and as a competitor, I'd like you to put all that aside for a moment and give us an objective analysis of that match and how you think that's going to go.
Well, Sam Houston, he's too neat. You know, he likes his hair combed. You don't want to get in there and really mix it up. He likes to do his little dance out there and make people scream and roll. That's fine for him. But when the fight gets going, then we're going to see his stick. Sam Houston can back up what he said.
That's true.
Mike George has a nice arm bar right now, turned into a hammerlock.
Nice float up into the hammerlock. This has been a good scientific match, and one thing I think this match demonstrates is that clean scientific wrestling, well within the framework of the rules of professional wrestling, can be just as brutal and just as grueling as a fist or brawling outside of the ring.
Well, of course it is. All these holds hurt. There's tremendous pressure right now in that shoulder area.
Mike George, a former AAU champion, has got all the, he has all the basics mastered. And when it comes down to it, the sign on the marquee still says wrestling. And that's something that Mike George can do. If you want to fight, he'll fight you. Oh, look at that. Nice move as he hangs on into the overhand wrist lock. Now he has Black Olympia prone. Rick Proctor right there. Nice move by Black Olympia to take it away with it from him with the head scissors. Black Olympia, we saw, you weren't here for the first 2 weeks of 5-Star Wrestling. This is a very mysterious masked man, but Bob, as you can tell, look at him, this man has some ring time, and he's going to be a serious contender. A win here will put him at the top of the rankings for a shot at that WWA title.
Oh, yeah, Black Olympia is a good wrestler, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. He's in there with the champion, and he's wrestling like one himself.
Now, Bob, we're seeing here both men were wrestling well within the framework of the rules. This is something, now I have a lot of respect for your business, don't get me wrong, I think you're a brilliant technical wrestler. Why do you take the shortcut? Why do you find it necessary to take the shortcut?
Now, you've never seen me break the rules. Look, we're not here to run down the way I wrestle. We're here to...
No, sir, I'm not running down the way you wrestle. Like I said, I think you're a
big man, I'm tough, rugged. Ooh, look at this, look at this, look at this. Beautiful moves. Look at that
Olympia. Both men going for a position on the mat. Black Olympia rolls out of the ring. Both men went down off the body check. Both men were rolling for position on the mat. Now Mike George looking like he's going to get a little bit aggressive here. Mike George, yeah, it looks like it. Mike George is going after Black Olympia on the apron. Referee Rick Clark's doing a very good job keeping Mike George back. And up, Mike George is going to hold on. Hey, Black Olympia
that was good.
That was good. Take advantage of by Black Olympia.
That's the way to take it. Mike George.
And Mike George backed up into the corner. Mike George, I think it was an accident that Black Olympia went out. But Mike George is going to hold the rope and let him back in. When that happened, Black Olympia's shoulder block for a And Mike George is not appreciative of the tactics of Black Olympia. Perfectly legal forearm, but a rather vicious one. There was some authority behind that forearm.
You darn betcha there. There's another good forearm to the side of the head. Now this is where it gets nice. This is where two guys are going out there trying to beat each other.
Hi, New Gen Gym, and everything's on sale again at New Generation. Every TV, every VCR, every camcorder like this. Remote control GE 2-head VCR, only $209.99. This remote 19-inch Gold Star, on-screen display, only $219.99. And this compact VHS-C format, full-feature JVC camcorder, 6-power zoom, only $699.99. Everything's on sale, but some of these quantities are limited, so hurry to New Generation, your TV, VCR, camcorder headquarters.
This is a WAFB Business Upbeat Report.
As a Healthcare Financing Administration designated regional referral center, 7th Ward General Hospital is proud to meet the challenge of satisfying the healthcare needs of you, the people of the Florida parishes. Over the past 3 decades, we have grown from a 60-bed facility employing 30 people to a 223-bed acute care center employing over 700. It is because of you that we've been able to grow and flourish. Thank you.
When the weather picture changes and conditions turn severe, stick with WAFB. Get the most accurate weather updates from meteorologist Mike Graham and the Channel 9 weather team. Day or night, you'll know the latest conditions as well as what precautions to take. Severe weather updates. Brought to you by Coleman Oldsmobile and WAFB, Louisiana's news channel.
Get ready for the WAFB movie matinee. Sunday's feature presentation is The Alamo, starring John Wayne.
It was. I'm Bowie. I'm Davy Crockett.
Well, I've heard a lot about you.
I've heard a lot about you, too.
Brought to you by Southern Siding. Sunday at 1 on WAFC, Channel 9.
2 3/4. Now Mike George setting him up for the vertical suplex. Could be on. Mike George, a little bit tired now. Doesn't quite go for the cover as quickly as he could have. He didn't have, I don't think he had senses about him to hook the leg. Otherwise, he may have had Black Olympia there because he planted Black Olympia. Russian leg sweep comes out. Close to the rope. Black Olympia's foot underneath the rope. Black Olympia's foot underneath the rope. Black Olympia doesn't know where he is. Mike George following up on the advantage. Black Olympia with the headbutt. Bob, I think Black Olympia's fighting back on instinct now.
Yeah, he is. These days, but so's Mike George. Oh, look at that shoulder in the belly. Here comes the
time. The time is in this matchup.
The match is over. It looks like they wrestled to a draw here today. The WWA champion held to a draw.
Referee Gary Kilshaw has rang the bell. Mike George still going for the victory with the roll-up. Referee Rick Foxer now will give a decision on this matchup between WWA Heavyweight Champion Mike George and Black Olympia, and looks like he's going to call it. Looks like he's going to call it a time limit draw. A time limit draw is the official decision.
All right, listen, it was a pleasure being here with you. I've got to hit the road.
A gesture of sportsmanship. Thank you, Bob Orton, for your insight on this match. And let's go to Jimmy Kilshaw for the official decision.
The referee has ruled a draw.
Time limit draw between Black Olympia and WWA Heavyweight Champion Mike George. And we'll be back with more exciting five-star wrestling action right after this break.
Sounds simple. Pull over, make a fast call. But I'm using this other long-distance company. They tell me to punch in numbers and more numbers. Come on, I'm double parked. They call this easy. Perfect.
If calling long distance isn't what it used to be, now it's easy to come back to AT&T. Call 1-800-821-3400 right now and we'll switch you for free.
They said save big over AT&T, giving me the old hard sell. So, okay, I switched. But my bill comes? Where's my big savings? I don't understand what's going on.
It's easy to understand the savings you can get with the AT&T Reach Out America plan. Now, our lowest prices can start at 5 p.m. Don't wait.
Okay, so I dial Bali instead of Belgium. I call up the operator to get instant credit? Forget it. The only thing she gave me was a headache.
To get back the quality and service you deserve, call now and come back for free.
Their promises just keep coming. Save big, save now. Oh, we're trying to get some real numbers, and they just give you the runaround. You keep saying that. What kind of savings are you talking about?
With AT&T, the prices we promise are the prices we deliver. Come back now, and we'll switch you for free.
Well, my flight to Germany is delayed, and I need to let the hotel know, right? So I called the operator to get international directory assistance. Guess what? They don't even have it. Thanks for nothing, guys.
They call this easy?
I don't understand what's going on.
What kind of savings?
What am I doing wrong here?
You're not dealing with AT&T.
Oh, I am now.
Don't wait any longer. Call 1-800-821-3400 now and come back for free to the quality and service that only AT&T can give you. Isn't it time?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on July the 29th at 7:30 at the Belmont in the Great Hall, live wrestling from 5 Star, the newest and hottest wrestling on television today. And with me tonight, I have two of America's brightest young stars in the game today. And I'm talking about the women's world champion, Rockin Robin, and her brother, Sam Houston.
Whoa. Come on, Sam, we're going to the Great Hall.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun.
Can't wait.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
I got a lot of things in store. See, what I got figured out is Skandor Akbar and his guys, right?
Yeah.
And me and all my friends. I'm talking about not really friends, but I'm talking about Bob Orton. See, Akbar, you made a mistake. You did something to Bob Orton you shouldn't have done. You tried to buy that man. That man can't be bought. He's his own man. Now, Wildcat Wendell Cooley, he can take care of business too. And when you put Rockin Robin beside of us, and then you got me, and I'll be riding in the lead, partner, I got something to say to you, Akbar. Get your best. Bring them down to the Great Hall. Because we're going to be two-stepping all over your finest talent there is. I'm going to make their eyes black and blue, and there ain't nothing you're going to do about it.
You can teach me that dance again, can't you?
Yeah, anytime you want to.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
All right.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. That's Sam Houston and Rockin Robin, two of the nation's top, brightest young stars today. I have another gentleman with me now who will be making his appearance at the Great Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, Wildcat Wendell Cooley.
Well, you know something, it's kind of like Sam Houston said, Akbar, unity. Unity is the name of the game. And I'm talking about myself, Sam Houston, Bob Orton, and Frankie the Thumper Lancaster. Now come to the Great Hall. I want you to bring that big bad beast you got and that Taurus Bubba on down there, because in weeks past, every time I've turned around, I've had those guys breathing right down my neck, and I'm getting sick and tired of it, Jack, because every time I feel that hot breath breathing down my neck and that hair starts sticking up on the back of it, I get very angry. And I've drove quite a few miles in the last few days, too, Jack, and I don't feel real good about it. So I'm going to tell you this, Akbar. Bring your guys down there, because me and the Thumper's going to thump them, Jack.
Okay, well, you just heard the Wildcat, ladies and gentlemen. He gets quite excited, but he's quite capable of taking care of himself. He does have a very exciting tag team match coming up at the Great Hall on July the 29th. He and Frankie, the Thumper Lancaster, will take on Taurus Bulba and the Beast. Also, you'll be able to see Sam Houston against Bruiser Bryan. And another exciting match, Amos Moses from Cutoff, Louisiana, teams up with Jimmy Jack Funk, and they go against the Rock and Roll RPMs. Now, let's go back to the ring for some more action.
The next event of the evening, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Standing in the red corner, in the red tights, weighing in at 235 pounds, hailing from San Antonio, Texas, Dusty Wolfe. And now in the ring, in the white cap, weighing in at 229 pounds, coming from Waco, Texas, Sam Houston. Sam Houston.
Well, this is somewhat of a surprise. Cowboy Johnny Mantell is not here. And we have no word as to why Cowboy Johnny Mantell is not here, or if he will be. Apparently he won't be. They sent Dusty Wolfe out to replace him in this bout. One fall, 10-minute time limit. Sam Houston immediately at the extended wrist lock. Dusty Wolfe, excellent fireman's carry, and takes the hold away from it. Sam Houston is at a disadvantage here. Sam Houston was geared up to take on Cowboy Johnny Mantell. Instead, he gets Dusty Wolfe. Dusty Wolfe flying cross body. A count of one. Sam Houston out to his feet, and an arm drag by Dusty Wolfe. Now Sam Houston uses his height, takes that away with a head scissors. And I'm being passed a note here. We had a call from Johnny Mantell. He said his flight was canceled. We'll get some more information about that later. But Sam Houston is at a disadvantage at this point. He did not sign to wrestle Dusty Wolfe. He signed to wrestle Johnny Mantell. All his training, all his strategy was pointed at Johnny Mantell. Instead, he has Dusty Wolfe coming out of here, a solid veteran grappler from San Antonio, Texas. And as we saw earlier, Dusty Wolfe, if you're not prepared to wrestle him, or if you take him too lightly, he'll pull it off and upset and beat you. But right now, Sam Houston has the situation under control. As Sam Houston works on the left arm with the extended wrist lock, and now comes up across the shoulder and bars the arm. Dusty Wolfe goes for the elbow. Sam Houston ducks underneath it, and again takes away the arm drag, and the figure four arm, and goes back with the figure four arm bar. Sam Houston looks a little bit frustrated right now. After the brawl last week he had with Cowboy Johnny Mantell, all Sam Houston's been talking about for a week is getting his hands on Mantell again. Instead, out of nowhere, Mantell comes up with a late message that says the flight was canceled. A fresh opponent is Dusty Wolfe. And right now, Sam Houston's handling the situation well. As Sam Houston centered his attack in this match with the left arm and falls waiting for leg drop. Again, goes up with the figure four arm bar. Notice the way that Sam Houston has the knee driven across the chest. Well, what a disappointing set of circumstances. But stay with us. We've got plenty of great action ahead. Nature Boy Buddy Landel will be wrestling in our next segment. Oh, Dusty Wolfe is not a man to be trifled with. This is a dangerous veteran wrestler. And he's not above taking a shot or a shortcut. And he did both at the same time there as he flings Sam Houston's throat straight into the top ring rope. And now chokes Sam Houston with the bottom ring rope. At this point, I think Dusty Wolfe has given up on the idea of trying to wrestle Sam Houston and will take a victory any way he can. Sam Houston's fighting back, but Sam Houston has been without wind for about a minute or so. That elbow didn't have as much authority as he would like. Dusty Wolfe following up on the advantage with a flying mare and a fist drop to the top of the head. Sam Houston kicks out. Dusty Wolfe locks him up with a rear chin lock. Dusty Wolfe looking for the upset. Dusty Wolfe hoping that Sam Houston's mind is on Cowboy Johnny Mantell and why Johnny Mantell isn't here. Maybe catching Sam Houston in a situation where his concentration is not 100%. Now Sam Houston works his way back up to his feet. We see Nature Boy Buddy Landel. Some power by Sam Houston as he takes the rear chin lock away with the arm drag. Dusty Wolfe goes into the eyes and drives a fist across the top of the head. Slams Sam Houston head first into the turnbuckle. Devastation Incorporated will be presenting Tio Tapu. And Akbar has got a tag team very high on called the Headhunters going up against the Fantastic Flavors. We got a lot more great action coming. Now Sam Houston firing back on Dusty Wolfe. Deals him out of the corner. Drop kick by Sam Houston. And Sam Houston now getting a chance to vent his frustrations on Dusty Wolfe. Arm drags Wolfe to the mat. Notice the way Sam Houston is a young veteran. Even though he does not have a lot of years, in the sport of professional wrestling, he has been all over. He has had 2 tours of Paris, France. He's wrestled on a lot of major wrestling events all over the country. Leapfrog by Sam Houston, bulldog out of nowhere, rolls Dusty Wolfe over, and this will be all. As Sam Houston, wrestling at somewhat of a disadvantage, having to face an opponent that he was not prepared for, and a dangerous opponent that is Dusty Wolfe. He put up a tremendous effort. But the Bulldog out of nowhere scores another win for Sam Houston. And let's take a look at again on the replay. Dusty Wolfe whips him in the rope. Sam Houston with the leapfrog, the Bulldog. And when Sam Houston hits you with that, you can count to 300. Impressive win. Let's go now to Jimmy Kilshaw for the official decision on this match.
The winner of the match, Sam Houston.
Buddy Landel coming up after this TV timeout on 5-Star Wrestling.
Halpin says guaranteed first quality stain release carpet for $9.99 installed with pads.
Stain release carpet, $9.99 installed.
That's Halpin.
Believe it or not, Alpine 6x9s are on sale for just $99.95 a pair, or an Alpine AM/FM CD player is on sale for just $469.95 from David's Car Stereo, your Alpine connection.
Subway sandwich stores and WAFB Channel 9 want to throw your office a party. Pick up your form at any Subway sandwich store in Baton Rouge or Gonzales, or mail a postcard with Subway Office Party Day written on it, plus your name, your business's name, address, and phone number to WAFB. Then be sure to watch Newsline 9's Daybreak. Diane Deaton will announce the lucky winner each Friday morning. Send in your entry today. Maybe the Subway will make a stop at your office.
Get ready for the WAFB movie matinee. Sunday's feature presentation is The Alamo, starring John Wayne.
It was. I'm Bowie. I'm Davy Crockett.
Well, I've heard a lot about you.
I've heard a lot about you, too.
Brought to you by Southern Siding. Sunday at 1 on WAFC, Channel 9.
Hello, wrestling fans. I'm Johnny Cascio, inviting you to be a part of five-star wrestling action at its very, very best. We invite all civic organizations, non-profit organizations, and schools to try and raise money for your particular group. All you have to do is call 5-Star Wrestling at the number you see at the bottom of your screen, and someone will be more than happy to get in touch and line up an outstanding wrestling card for your particular group, as we stated.
The next event of the evening, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Standing in the blue corner, in the black jacket and the black tights, weighing in at 230 pounds, coming from Jacksonville, Florida, Mark McWood.
Waiting for the arrival of Nature Boy Buddy Landel and General Skandor Akbar, fashionably late, as Landel cares to put it. Going for a psychological advantage by making his young opponent, Mark Woods, wait in the ring.
And now, heading to the ring, in the green and yellow robe, weighing in at 230 pounds, coming from Los Angeles, California, the Nature Boy, Buddy Landel. And his manager, the General himself, Skandor Akbar.
General Skandor Akbar. Somewhat of an odd combination here. General Skandor Akbar has usually come up with some violent, vicious, savage wrestlers, like Kamala, the Botswana Beast. We're going to be seeing some vicious island-type wrestlers from the Maori, from the Isle of Maui, Tio Tapu and the Headhunters a little bit. And now adding to that combination is Nature Boy Buddy Landel, the skilled athlete. Very arrogant, very cocky. Loves to talk, and as a matter of fact, he's going to take a moment to discuss things with General Skandor Akbar outside of the ring. Nature Boy Buddy Landel has spent the first part of this match intimidating people. First, he tried to intimidate young Mark Woods by making Mark Woods wait in the ring. Landel waiting into the last possible moment to make his entrance, showing almost a disdain and a certain disrespect for the fans here and also for Mark Woods. Then trying to get his referee Randy Anderson's face. Of course, you noticed Randy Anderson did not back down from Buddy Landel. And speaking of getting somebody's face, there's Randy Anderson warning Buddy Landel about the hair pull. Of course, the referee can only call what he can see. And Buddy Landel does not practice on doing things on the offside of the referee. Again, Anderson questioning Landel about the possible hair pull. This is a tune-up match for the Nature Boy, Buddy Landel. Next week, right here on 5-Star Wrestling, he will be meeting the Junkyard Dog. And that match has a very special stipulation. If the Junkyard Dog can pin Nature Boy Buddy Landel, and referee Randy Anderson proving that he has control of this match. Randy Anderson called for the break. Buddy Landel went to throw a punch. Anderson grabbed the fist, keeps the punch from being thrown. Mark Wood, somewhat of an opportunist, decked Landel, and Landel is complaining. Oh, wait! Now Landel threatening to strike the official. Randy Anderson responds by threatening to send Landel back to the dressing room with loser's pay. Now the two men will square off. As I said a moment ago, Mark Woods goes from behind. He rolls him up with the reverse cradle, too. And Buddy Landel kicks out. victory. This hasn't been so. Mark Woods has come to wrestle. And I'm not quite sure Buddy Landel expected this much competition from young Mark Woods. Collar and elbow tie-up. As I was mentioning, next week, if Buddy Landel takes Mark Woods' competition, next week he'll be in the ring with the Junkyard Dog. And if the Junkyard Dog, beautiful Cornish hike out of the corner. If Junkyard Dog can beat Buddy Landel, then he'll get 5 minutes with Landel's manager, General Skandor Akbar. Now, riding Woods, still holding on to the armbar, making Woods carry all of Landel's 230 pounds. This accomplishes two purposes. Number one, this is going to put pressure on the arm. Number two, since Landel is riding Woods and Woods is being made to carry Landel's weight, this is going to tire him out. It's hard to tell from this angle. Woods was crashing around a little bit, like he may have been bit. And from that camera angle, you can tell. Well, he thought about biting him. I think he thought better of it. Randy Anderson certainly had been alerted. I think Randy Anderson is checking to make sure he's not being bit. And there's a blatant bite. Well, actually, it wasn't a blatant bite. Here on the offside of referee Randy Anderson. It was blatant as far as the television cameras were concerned. This is a gifted athlete. The same thing that we talked about Bob Orton earlier somewhat applies to Nature Boy Buddy Landel. Whereas Orton is methodical, Landel is very flamboyant. This time, Woods trying to go for the Wolfe reverse. Landel head on to the ropes. Woods does a nice job of rolling, but Landel with his quickness catches Woods coming out with a clothesline, and Landel is in control. Now Landel is strutting, has a few more words for the referee. Tell you what, I think Landel would rather talk than breathe. Vicious chop resounds the Baker Municipal Auditorium. Finally carried by Buddy Landel, and again going right back to the left arm. Again making Mark Woods carry his weight. It will be interesting to see if this strategy that is working against a smaller Mark Woods, who Landel probably has a power advantage against, if this same strategy will be effective next week when Nature Boy Buddy Landel has to face the Junkyard Dog. The Junkyard Dog will have a size and power advantage. Landel will probably find it necessary to be using his speed and his agility. And believe me, Landel is not above using a few dirty tricks. And with General Skandor Akbar, with his hide on the line, General Skandor Akbar will not be above interfering in that match if he thinks he can get away with it. Mark Woods now being ridden by Nature Boy Buddy Landel. Landel kick to the ribs of young Mark Woods. Mark Woods blocks the turnbuckle shot and slams Landel 3 times into the buckle. Mark Woods, a game competitor, not much experience, but showing a lot of heart and showing some ring savvy. Oh, that time he charges into the wrong corner. Landel catches him with the reverse elbow. Now Landel setting him up. Drives the elbow. Big spinning elbow, 1, 2, a little bit cocky off the pin, but he does have the arm. Landel comes up with a victory, and he's grabbing out. Oh, referee Randy Anderson went to raise the arm, and Landel flinched in pain. Landel is in pain. Landel is in pain. General Skandor Akbar, his meal ticket, came up hurting after that spinning elbow to take the victory. First, let's take a look at this again. Let's see if we can see where Nature Boy Buddy Landel hurt his elbow. Here's Nature Boy Buddy Landel, the big reverse spinning elbow. Cocky on the pin. He does hook the leg to get the cover, and he immediately comes up holding that elbow. The right elbow of Nature Boy Buddy Landel is in pain. Jimmy Kilshaw with the official decision.
The winner of the match, the Nature Boy, Buddy Landel.
General Skandor Akbar may have won the battle here, but lost the war commercial timeout.
Every telephone's on sale at New Generation like this GTE cordless handset telephone with rechargeable batteries, only $39.99 at New Generation, your phone headquarters.
Are you looking for a deal on guaranteed first quality carpet?
Halpin's has stain relief carpet for a low $9.99 installed with half-inch pads.
Remember, at Halpin's, we don't charge to move normal furniture. We don't charge to take up old carpet and pads.
Guaranteed first quality stain relief carpet, $9.99 installed with half-inch pads.
At Halpin's, the only carpet deals we miss are the ones we don't know about.
Halpin's Carpet.
Nobody likes to buy tires. If you need them, why not buy them where they're the cheapest? We discount Goodyear, Firestone, Michelin, BF Goodrich, all the major brands. We sell cheaper than Sears, Western Auto, even Sam's Wholesale Club. In fact, we'll beat anybody's advertised price by at least 5%. Remember, nobody beats Allied Tires. Nobody.
3 locations in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Iberia. This is a WAFB Business Upbeat Report.
Louisiana, it's so good to see you. Our Louisiana Open House celebration is rolling out the red carpet for 20 million visitors this year. They love our delicious cuisine, our fantastic fairs and festivals, and our beautiful tourist attractions. Yes, we're breaking the record in tourism. 74,000 jobs for our people. Louisiana, we're really cooking.
This has been a Business Upbeat Report.
Thus far this evening, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen some very exciting action from the Texas Knights and from Sam Houston and Black Olympia. And now I've got with me a fella who has something he wants to say. This is Jimmy Jack Funk, and he comes from a long line of wrestlers.
You got it. Jimmy Jack Funk, and this is Bobby Sue. And boy, is it good to be alive and well and wrestling in the 5-star wrestling area. Well, let me tell you one thing. I came here for a reason. You might say I'm a man with a mission. I got a purpose in the back of my head, and I'm going to let you in about it when I get good and ready. But first of all, I want to tell you about where I've been. I've been around the world, and I've heard about all the competition and all the good stars here, like the Texas Knights, like Sam Houston, the Headhunter, the Beast. I've heard about them all. Jimmy Jack Funk, a man with a mission.
You can rest assured that mission will be a lot of mischief if I know him and his reputation. I have another gentleman here, former World's Tag Team Champion on 3 different occasions of the RPMs. This is Mike Davis.
Man with a purpose. Must be nice. Must be real nice. What's the RPM's purpose? To rule professional wrestling. To do what we have to do to get anything we have to do done so we can beat somebody. They say, Mike, will you and Kevin take a stick to the ring? We'll take a baseball bat. Will you take a chain? We'll take a buzzsaw. And it doesn't matter who we step in the ring against, whether it's Jimmy Jack Funk, whether it's Sam Houston, whether it's Black Olympia, whether it's Bob Orton, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is win. And you can believe it, people in 5-star, we will win.
And Mike Davis and the RPM's reputation definitely precedes them, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are tough. I would also like to invite you to be at the Great Hall here in Baton Rouge on July the 29th at 7:30. Live action with 5-star returns. Also, when the traveling show goes on the road, we'll be all over the place, being down in Lake Charles and up in Mississippi and Jackson and around. So don't miss these exciting events. When you see 5-star coming, come to the events, okay? Now, let's go back to the ring. We've still got some more exciting action for you.
The first event of the evening, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Standing in the red corner, in the blue jacket and blue tights, weighing in at 112 pounds, coming in from Nashville, Tennessee, Brandi. Brandi Wine.
Brandi Wine to meet the world women's champion, Rockin Robin. And the music starts up for the very popular world women's champion, Brandi Wine. What an opportunity this young woman had as we see Rockin Robin heading down the aisle. And the crowd here in the Bacon Municipal Auditorium erupts. Perhaps the most popular world women's champion in the last 20 years, Rockin Robin, entering the ring. And a little dance for the fans here in the Bacon Municipal Auditorium, much to their approval.
And now in the ring, in the blue corner and in the blue dress, weighing in at 123 pounds, coming from Charlotte, North Carolina, the women's champion, Rockin Robin.
And listen to this crowd erupt as Rockin Robin is introduced. Brandi Wine has a tremendous opportunity here as Rockin Robin gives the World Championship belt to referee Randy Anderson. Anderson takes it back to the ring attendant as this is a non-title match. The championship not on the line. Rockin Robin offering her hand as a gesture of sportsmanship, and we're underway. Brandi Wine, a tremendous opportunity as she gets taken to the mat with a flying arm drag. If Brandi Wine can come up with an upset here, if she can pin Rockin Robin here on television, she immediately becomes the #1 contender. And there's an arm drag by Brandi Wine. Rockin Robin up very quickly. A little bit of a smile on the face of Rockin Robin. Two women square off, collar and elbow tie-up. Rockin Robin using her superior height and superior size advantage to bull her to the ropes. Brandi Wine reverses the whip. Body check by Rockin Robin. Rockin Robin up and over. Leapfrog. And hip toss by Rockin Robin. The world's women's champion moving very fluidly here as she takes her down to the mat and bars the arm. Now Rockin Robin extends the wrist and rings it out. Rockin Robin moving very fluidly here in the opening part of this match. Excellent chain wrestler, Rockin Robin. Floats from one maneuver to the other one very easily. Nice kip up by Brandi Wine and takes the arm back. Boy, what a great hour of action we have. In the next bout, we're going to be seeing the Lords of the Ring, Rick and Speedy. Then Tio Tapu, the Savage Islander that we saw scoring an impressive victory last week. He's going to step up in class this week. He goes up against the WWA, the World Wrestling Association Heavyweight Champion, Mike George, in a non-title bout. And yes, General Skandor Akbar will be at ringside for that match. And then Sam Houston, who last week was supposed to face Cowboy Johnny Mantell and didn't, this week will face Bob Orton. Somewhat of a Cowboy showdown, though not the one that Sam Houston wanted. But still, what a great match that's going to be. Bob Orton looking very impressive last week with a win. Drop toe hold by Brandi Wine, floats up into the side headlock. And Rockin Robin, everything to lose and really nothing to gain in this match. If she wins, of course, everyone's going to say she should win. If she loses, everybody's going to say what a tremendous upset it is, and she'll be forced to give Brandi Wine a title shot. But I guess it goes back to the heart of Rockin Robin, which makes her such a great women's champion, is the fact that Rockin Robin is easy to find. She's in the ring. She likes to wrestle. She likes to display her talents, and she likes having that World's Women's Championship on the line. And she will face all comers. It's not hard to get a match with Rockin Robin if you want one. Main event later on today. The Junkyard Dog going up against Nature Boy's Buddy Landel. Now Rockin Robin showing a little bit of display of power right there as she comes from a prone position off the mat, lifts Brandi Wine straight up and just sits her on the turnbuckle, steps away very cleanly. I don't think Brandi Wine's very impressed with that maneuver. Now Rockin Robin offers a shake of hands. Brandi Wine is not pleased. And Brandi Wine goes to the eyes. Cheap shot by Brandi Wine going into the eyes of Rockin Robin. Now pounds away and takes the women's champion to the mat and starts stomping away. Now Rockin Robin into the ropes. Brandi Wine fires away a forearm across the chest. There's a second one. A third one by Brandi Wine. Brandi Wine taking the battle of the World Women's Champion. Reversed by Rockin Robin, and an elbow to the back by Brandi Wine. Brandi Wine trying to take advantage of the opportunity she has. She has come after Rockin Robin from the opening bell, and the World Women's Champion is stunned. Oh, fist to the midsection by Brandi Wine. Grabs the hair, slams her into the buckle. Brandi Wine showing no respect whatsoever for the World's Women's Champion in this non-title event. Again slams her head into the turnbuckle. And the crowd here at the Baker Municipal Auditorium is a little bit stunned. I think they were looking for a showcase for Rockin Robin. Instead, she's in a battle. And now Rockin Robin plants the boot on the turnbuckle, blocks it, reverses the maneuver, and Brandi Wine shakes it off. Brandi Wine coming right back after her. Side headlock by Brandi Wine, thumb to the throat. Or what could have been a thumb to the throat on the offside. Referee Randy Anderson is checking it. As it appears, Brandi Wine is going to pull out all the stops. Doing anything she can. She knows what a victory over Rockin Robin could mean. This match could literally mean $15,000 to $25,000 extra dollars for Brandi Wine over the course of a year. A victory over Rockin Robin on television will do two things. First, it assures her a title shot down the road at Rockin Robin and a big purse. Second, it establishes her as one of the top women stars in the country and will put her in demand. Suddenly promoters will be ringing her phone trying to get her booked. And Rockin Robin is flat on her back on the floor outside the ring. And here comes Brandi Wine after her. Brandi Wine is doing everything and anything she can to beat Rockin Robin. Brandi Wine giving up experience, giving up height, and giving up power. But I'll tell you what, she's not giving up any heart. As she is coming off to Rockin Robin with everything she has. Now Rockin Robin slams Brandi Wine head first into the ring apron. Big chop across the chest. Both these women need to be conscious of the count on the floor. Referee Randy Anderson counting. Rockin Robin coming into the ring. Brandi Wine coming into the ring. Rockin Robin trying to shake the cobwebs off. Both women hit with clotheslines. What a great matchup this is. Brandi Wine came in here somewhat as an unknown commodity. Rockin Robin goes for a right hand and misses. Brandi Wine, second time, retaliates with a forearm across the chest. The third time, and the third time, Rockin Robin connects. Haymaker by Rockin Robin, a second one. Now Rockin Robin on the offense, big elbow. Brandi Wine trying to create some distance between her and the champion. Brandi Wine trying to slow the momentum down. Reverses the whip by Rockin Robin. Rockin Robin Brandi Wine thought she ducked the cross body block. There's a fly body press, 2 and 3. Tremendous comeback victory for the World Women's Champion, Rockin Robin, who at this point has to be very happy. Let's go to Jimmy Kilshaw for the official decision.
The winner of the match, Rockin Robin.
Let's take a look at this again. Rockin Robin didn't beat Brandi Wine. She survives this one as she comes off the ropes, the flying body press, and the victory. We'll be back with more five-star wrestling action after this commercial timeout.
Want to stretch your food dollar? Plan ahead, make a shopping list, and here's the important part. Bring it to Winn-Dixie.
If you want the best beef for less, shop the Beef People for WD brand boneless chuck roast, now $1.99 a pound. Take home your favorite Del Monte corn, 3 cans for $1. 2-liter Pepsi and Mountain Dew are 87 cents each. And Harvest Fresh White Seedless Grapes are 89 cents a pound at Winn-Dixie, America's supermarket.
Good neighbors there when you need them, working every day.
Don't let the sizzling heat of summer catch your car's air conditioning unprepared. Come by Simpson's today for a free air conditioning check. We'll check belts, hoses, fittings, compression, performance, and more. We'll even throw in a can of Freon free with service. Let the pros at Simpson's service your air conditioning so you can count on it when you need it most.
Simpson's Service Center, free good neighbor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen much exciting action tonight, and it's a real privilege for me right now to be standing here with the General, Skandor Akbar.
And I heard a name last week, Eric Embry. Yeah, that's right, Eric. We go back a ways, punk. Don't you dare show your face at the Great Hall. Don't you ever even think about coming to Baton Rouge, Eric, because you know what's going to be waiting for you. Yeah, you're another one on the list that Devastation has done away with. Big Stomper Don Harris, you got a great match, along with a beast and Bubba. I heard Cooley crying. Well, you see, Cooley, I didn't get the message across just good enough. Yeah, you thought it was tough when that crimson rolled down your face. Well, I got another big surprise for you in the Great Hall. What a prestigious building. Stomper Don Harris, you got a big match there.
Tell you what, I'm gonna start things off with Rainbow Brown. You #1 on my list, brother, but you only a stepping stone. Akbar, anybody, anytime, turn me loose, brother, and I'm on them.
Well paid, Jack. That's what it's all about. Money makes the world. There's no individual on the face of this earth that cannot be bought. Don't you forget it, Jack Curtis.
Well, you heard it from the General, and he's certainly proven that statement many times in the wrestling business, for sure. But at the Great Hall on July the 29th, 7:30 bell time, we've got action galore. We've got Sam Houston versus Bruiser Bryan. He's also with Devastation. We've got Wendell Cooley and Frankie the Thumper Lancaster taking on Taurus Bubba and the Beast. More Devastation Incorporated. And then Eric Embry is booked on that card that night, and he will take on 300-pound Don Bass. Okay, Grizzly Smith has booked that match, so you have him to contend with. Also, J.J. Funk teams up with Louisiana's Amos Moses and takes on the Rock and Roll RPMs. Rainbow.
The next event of the evening, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Standing in the red corner, in the black jacket and black tights, weighing in at 236 pounds, one of the leading martial arts experts, Shinobi. Also managed by General Skandor Akbar.
Well, this is the main event we've been talking about. There has been a compromise. General Skandor Akbar has been allowed to replace the injured nature boy, Buddy Landel. And the crowd of the Baker Municipal Auditorium is marching as the Junkyard Dog heads to the ring. This crowd of the Baker Municipal Auditorium is on its feet. Well, that's the good news for General Skandor Akbar.
And now in the ring, standing in the blue corner, weighing in at 300 pounds, hailing from Charlotte, North Carolina, the one and only, the only one, the Junkyard Dog.
And this crowd goes absolutely bonkers as the Junkyard Dog is introduced, and the crowd is already barking. The good news for General Skandor Akbar, he gets to replace the injured nature boy, Buddy Landel. Landel's elbow is injured, and he could not compete in this match. Here's the bad news for Akbar. If the Junkyard Dog can pin Shinobi, then the stipulation remains the same. A pinfall victory by the Junkyard Dog, and he gets 5 minutes in the ring with General Skandor Akbar. Shinobi, as he was introduced by promoter and ring announcer Jimmy Killshaw, is a martial arts expert, somewhat of a mystery man. But you can bet on one thing. General Skandor Akbar would not be putting his hand or his hide in this man's hand unless he was very confident of Shinobi's ability. The dog ducks. The dog turns around and gets hit. Oh, double kick by Shinobi. the dog up quickly. The dog, a 300-pound powerhouse. Most men stay down when we get hit with that combination of kicks. The dog is back up, but the dog is definitely stunned. And, boy, Shinobi better not be mocking the dog with that bow. The dog will make him eat that kimono. Shinobi drives a knee into the midsection, rakes the eyes, goes for a chop. The dog blocks it. Shinobi goes for a second chop and blocks it. The dog with a headbutt to the midsection and to the top of the head. I don't think they teach a defense for the Junkyard Dog in karate class. Now, General Skandor Akbar is livid. General Skandor Akbar is reading Shinobi the riot act outside the ring. Beautiful camera work there. General Skandor Akbar knows what is at stake in this match. Now the dog offering Shinobi to lock up a test of grip. This may be a mistake. The Junkyard Dog, one of the strongest men and powerful men in the entire sport. And we can see there why that is. Shinobi, 2 minutes later, sitting this line. Short clothesline by the dog. Shinobi coming out of the ring. Shinobi, and now General Skandor Akbar once again trying to put something together with Shinobi that works. And Shinobi scored early on a double kick that took the dog down. I think it stunned the dog more than it hurt him. Akbar definitely looks concerned. If the match continues at this pace, the General will have to be having to lock up with the dog. Locking up with the dog is no fun, period. But when the dog has a grudge against you like he has for General Skandor Akbar and has been waiting to get his hands on you, General Skandor Akbar could be in a lot of trouble. Now Shinobi, the flying forearm. Drop kick. Sends the dog into the ropes. Oh, the dog comes off the ropes with a headbutt. Headbutt by the dog, and he's grabbing a hold of Shinobi's mask to keep Shinobi from going down. At this point, I believe Shinobi wants to go down, but the dog's keeping him coming. Now Shinobi goes down like he was shot. The dog bringing Shinobi back up. Crouch hold lift. Oh, that's going to be it. Oh, General Skandor Akbar in the ring. Here comes Nation Boy Buddy Landel with his makeshift sling. Oh, the sling is off. Landel's dropping the elbow. It was a ruse. Landel's arm was not hurt. Now Landel's going to use the towel and a makeshift sling to choke the Junkyard Dog. Shinobi, Landel, and Akbar all triple teaming the Junkyard Dog. Here comes referee Rick Proctor. And, oh, goodness. That's going to wrap it up. The Junkyard Dog, a winner by disqualification. What a great hour of action we've had. General Skandor Akbar proving he will do whatever it takes to control five-star wrestling. He passed the last one to Bob Orton that almost hung Sam Houston. He perpetrated the ruse by Nation Boy Buddy Landel, which resulted in a triple team into the Junkyard Dog. This is great action, and we'll be back with more five-star wrestling next week. My name is Martin Oldie. Good night.